We are talking to Joyce Martin, the founder of Tierra de Hortaliza. It's an online grocery store in Bolivia. Joyce, I'm so excited to talk to you. If I understand correctly, Tierra de Hortalizas means land of vegetables. Tell us about your origin story. What inspired you to start this startup?
Well, actually, I'm very happy to be with you as well. And Tierra de Hortalizas actually began with you. Tierra de Hortalizas is actually not the land of vegetables, but tierra actually in Spanish means earth. So the name came from the earth, and it has a connotation towards, obviously, being a little bit kinder to it. So it started in a very joyful way, in terms that I wanted my son on a vacation to do something other than playing video games. So I am actually a designer and an interior designer, and I've through the year become more of an expert in designing restaurants. And I had a recall of having seen a postcard in one of them that said Huertos Orgánicos La Cauta, which means organic gardens, La Cauta. So I thought that was interesting. I picked it up, and I figured that during the vacation of Tomás, my youngest son, we would all go with his cousins to take some courses in organic agriculture. So this is how it started. And yes, we were 7. They were 7 plus me. They were all boys from 17 to 12 at the time, Tomás. And we started building our first raised beds. So I had no notion of what this was going to turn into. It was just an experiment and an adventure that we started over a vacation. And that turned into this small business that we have now. We started working with local farmers, myself being one of them. I have a tiny, not so tiny, medium-sized, let's say, greenhouse from which we feed ourselves now. And it also allows me to sell some of the produce. So it started with my son, actually. Yes.
Wonderful. That's a perfect way to start a business. How many products did you start with, and how many do you have now?
Well, actually, we started off with very few. We started off, as I say, with these 3 friends, and with what we were actually producing and planting in our own raised beds. So it must have been only vegetables at the time. And then I got stuck because I thought, well, I gave it this name. We gave it this name. And now we have to introduce other products. What are we going to do with the branding? Because other than just architecture and interior design, I also have done graphics and branding. So I got stuck in saying, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to change the name. I'm not going to change the name. And then I thought, no, I'm not going to change the name. In the end, now it's also known for its abbreviation, which is TH. So it's become a very small name, you know. And so I thought, okay, we started like this. We just might as well run with it. So we started with just vegetables and a good arrangement of an array of them. And we brought in seeds from abroad to be so that the produce would be organic from seed as well. And now we also give these seeds to the farmers, to local farmers. So we have introduced other varieties of vegetables to the market as well. And we gave room for these other producers to have another kind of window to the market, you know, because it is a more expensive produce. And so the market for it is very, very small.
Right.
We're trying to lower the prices to be able to have a bigger market. And now we have increased. I mean, if we started with 10, now we have 100. So it has increased not only in the number of vegetables we sell, but it also has different lines of products, you know. So now we I started traveling before the pandemic. We went to Tarija, Santa Cruz, which are the other departments and states of Bolivia. And I started visiting other farmers that produce other things, but also with local produce. So, for example, we sell jams, we sell all milk products.
Dairy products.
We have dairy products, we have eggs, we have nuts. Nuts come from, we import them, but I try to make them that they are the more natural ones. We have grains, we have flours, we have all sorts of other products that we try to source. Some of them are organic and others are, they don't have the certificate of being organic, but they are organically produced, but the certification in Bolivia is very expensive. It's not something, it is worldwide as well. It's not an easy certificate to have. It has many different steps that you have to be able to meet in order to have the certification. So I thought, okay, the only way to do this is to visit people individually and to have a firsthand view of what is being done, and that was really beautiful because I got to see many areas and meet wonderful people that are still, striving to go a different way. Yeah. So that was nice.
You're a designer turned founder, right? As an accidental founder, tell me something that surprised you after getting into this business.
It would be linked to Tomas as well, to my son, because I had never thought that he would engage into the concept of how you create a business, and he has used his experience with Tierra de Hortalizas for many other aspects of his life, like for school, for his applications to certain workshops, or he has it in his mind, and so that aspect to me was really interesting. And what happened with his cousins as well, because it didn't only impact Tomas, it impacted all of them at different levels, like one of his cousins said to me, Joyce, I thought we were just going to go and buy a pot, fill it up with soil, put some seeds and bloom, everything would just, I don't know, grow, and that would be the end of the story. And now this is a business. So that concept, to be able to set into the children and young adults' minds that you can do something that involves the good of more than yourself is really interesting. And I think that would be the best thing of this, yes.
One is about having great intention, which is fantastic in your case. But the other one, the hardest part of any business is to get customers, right?
Yes.
How hard was it to get the initial customers? Walk us through the journey of getting the first $100.
At the beginning, it was easier, I would say, because we were starting out. We were 3 associates, 3 friends. So our customers were our friends and the friends of our friends. Though we had I can remember that we had just 2 or 3 or 5 orders, I don't remember, for the first sale. And then it automatically started to improve. We had more and more clients. However, now we have to have much more effort placed into social media to be able to have more clients. And that is very difficult for us. I think if you would have a good system of putting someone in charge of the social media, then it'll be okay. But then it also goes into how much you have to pay for that in terms of of the business itself. Can it actually hold that up? But yes, I think one of the soft spots right now is the social media management. So we do have an Instagram page, which we activate. Our order of business actually works. The form that we have created with Neartail, that goes out to our customers through a broadcast list, because it's still very, it's not completely professional, it's not something that is streamlined or it's still small. So we take it out we have been able to have we understand now who our target is. And so we have 200 clients, which we actually go to. And that goes out on Thursday night, and it is open until Monday. On Monday, we close it, and we do the harvesting of everything during Tuesday. Tuesday, everything arrives to the distribution center, and then we take it out we deliver to all the clients, or clients can come and pick up their order on Wednesday. So it's a very fresh product that you have. It's not standing there for a week before you buy it. And because it is fresh, we also don't have the ability to be able to sell every day. So we sell once weekly.
Right.
Now we have to decide whether we want to go and do 2 days, or how we're going to manage it, On the other hand, also, it doesn't allow us to open a store because the production is still very small. We have 2 farmers, one that has quite a bit of land, actually, and the other one, who's extraordinary, she actually cultivates organically in the middle of the high plateau in the Altiplano, which is almost arid and desert. And it's not a very nice, it doesn't have much vegetation. It's very, like I say, very arid. And suddenly you just go into these hidden gardens in the middle of nowhere, and you open the door, there's an oasis there, and you think, what is she doing? This is extraordinary. I think going back to the surprise, this would be also a surprise, in the middle of something that is so barren. You just open a door. This woman is she's called Paulita, and Paulita has this extraordinary green hand, and that is also fantastic to see. The other one is called Vicky. She has become my comadre, which is she becomes part of your family. So she's my comadre, and so she comes, and we have a very, very kind and very nurturing relationship, So yes, the friendships you acquire in any business or any enterprise you have is wonderful. You too, Vipin is a very good friend of mine, and so are you. So that it makes it all the most extraordinary to take on.
Exactly. When you initially started the Instagram page, was these people, the core community that you created, became the members of the Facebook? How did you get the initial traction for your Facebook and Instagram pages?
Well, I think word of mouth has actually been incredibly helpful. Also, just inviting people to see the page and asking them to ask their friends to see their page. And now, as I say, I'm in a crossroad where I don't know exactly where it's going to go. I mean, it needs someone that will need more time to actually take it forward. So either I bring a new partner into the business, or I see what we're going to do with it to be able to see. I don't know. We have to put more time to it to be able to grow the next step,
Correct.
So
yeah. Scaling is a different challenge, but the idea of having a close community of already succeeded, which is already a great, learning for each one of us here.
Absolutely. And also, it keeps the business small enough so that you can actually, how would you say this? You could actually, also you can not lose the quality of service that you have, and you can't lose the quality of the produce, because it is a small farmer that can actually, we cannot grow in big scales. I mean, you would have to have a big back, to be able to do that. So you have to keep it as small, but not too small. So that's where I'm right now stuck. And I think most of us that do these small entrepreneurs projects will always have that problem. How far do I take it? What will I sacrifice? What am I not willing to sacrifice? So it gives a lot of work to a good number of people, a good number of families. I was happy to bring on and take on young people that, when the pandemic came, had nowhere to distribute their product. And I mean, all sorts of business, sprung from from that experience, you know? And so that was nice too. So we don't only have the farmers, we have chefs, we have gourmet products that are making things with our own produce. So I don't know, pestos, canned tomatoes, all sorts of other things that are also allowing other people to have a platform from which to sell from.
So, I mean, founders are generally cheerful people, but you're one of the most cheerful person I've ever seen. What you know, what are your initial struggles, and tell me how you keep up your optimism?
Oh, well, like any other person, I have a very strong monkey in my head, you know, that is also very you know, negative and bugs you all the time. But I think you have to have a strong will to be able to just tone it down. I think that the possibility of training yourself is very important, you know, and to understand that you will have something that will bring you down, or that, I mean, life is up and down, up and down. So I don't know, you just have to look at the up, and when it's down, you just tell the monkey not to bother you all the time. Monkey being the other side of your brain that is always there, the noise, you know, we all have that.
So, I mean, one of the challenges that people have is they introduce a new product category and sometimes it doesn't work, right? What do you do when that happens? Like, do you double down or do you quickly change your plans?
Well, I would say that has to do, thinking about your question, it has to do with creativity as well. Minds that are creative can actually take a look at different angles of one same problem. It can be an advantage and a disadvantage. So if you are trained in a way that you see, designers and creative people are trained to solve problems in creative ways, to be redundant, you know, and that means that you see things in different perspectives all the time. So you don't see it as a failure. I'm just taking a workshop right now, and the teacher is a wonderful person, and she says, there are no failures if you learn something from it. So if you can turn it around, you know, we're trying to see something like this, and then we see it like this, and then we see it like this. So we see it from all angles. And that gives you other perspectives, and it gives you other ways to work around problems. I guess that's what keeps me optimistic as well, because I'm just trained like that, you know, and fast. You can solve problems a little bit quicker. So if it doesn't work, turn it around, take a look at it again, and if it doesn't work, we'll throw it away and put yourself back together and start doing it again. But there's never a true failure, because something will tell you how to go ahead in a different direction. So that's how it works. To me.
Have you found the opposite to be true? Like, did you overpromise the product, and did you feel you had to reset the customer expectation?
No, I think when you do a proper research of what products you're going to include in your line of offer and your offer, you know, then you are actually picking what actually goes with the line that you are offering, which also in turn lowers the amount of produce that you're not going to be able to sell. So yes, we have had products that nobody is willing to buy, and we've had to discard them. But I think that is, again, it's lowered if you do a proper research of what your customers want and whether that product fits with the entire line of branding and of product you're selling. So I took a look. I've had products, for example, I went to Potosi, which is up in the mountains, and they have the most incredible, this woman has an incredible 18th century farm. And she has the most incredible cows, and she does dairy products, but her graphic and her visual packaging was a disaster, you know. And though the product was very good, it couldn't fit into our line of products, because I try to take care as much as I can, because I can't all the time, to have it visually connect with the rest of the products that are being sold. So some lines I will design for them. So it is a service that we also offer. So this line, which is it's called Gallara, we designed their logo and we designed their packaging, and fantastic. Now she has an upscale visual and an upscale packaging, nicely designed, that fits the customer that we have. So it's not always the case of every product. And if I don't have a good visual, then I use a photograph that fits into it, and I do not show the graphics, because then you know, there's a line in the Instagram that you follow. There's a design line, there's a design visual. So yeah, that has to be taken care of really tightly, so that you just don't go off on every angle, you know, on every path.
So which is the hardest part of your operation? Is it suppliers, customers, or Neartail tech?
No, Neartail is fantastic. I have had a great experience. I think you have an excellent service. You're extremely friendly people, so it's really, really easy to work with you. And if I have ever had anything that I needed, or some trouble that I don't know, I just, whatever I needed, you were always there. So that for me is really, really great, you know. And right now, the greatest problem for me is the social media, also how to sell online, how to get more customers online, how to get them engaged. And I think it has to do with bringing on the team someone that is a professional in that that way of selling, you know, which I am not. So it makes it very difficult for me, you know.
Got it. So here in EU, you know, the European Union has mandated companies to reduce the carbon footprint by 50% by 2030. How are countries, I mean, Bolivia and South American countries, looking at this problem of climate change? What do they have any mandates?
I think it is a challenge, a very, very serious challenge that we have to take on. Actually, by just 3 days ago, I was talking to a friend that works deeply into these issues, you know, and she works from La Paz, but she's actually working with other institutions across the world. And she says that by 2050, there should be zero emissions. It's very hard to be able to get that. But then I said to her, I mean, I hear you, and you're very pessimistic, because she says to me, I thought I wasn't going to see this in my lifetime, but I think I will see the catastrophe. But I still believe in human consciousness, and that we do have the ability to stand aside and say, what am I doing? Even if it's in such a low scale, in our little grain of sand that we can actually give to this problem, you know, to solve it. One of the things that has to happen is to be able to feed ourselves in a more natural way, of course, organically. But meaning that we are, I mean, obviously we're overpopulated, so we have to be very creative in how we do this, you know. So Bolivia is trying to introduce genetically modified corn. Latin America, especially the Andes, has the most incredible heritage corn. So if we introduce genetically modified corn, we will lose all that through pollination, which will happen anyway. We will lose our heritage in corn. So, and this has to do with politics, and to me, it has to do with greed as well, just plainly said. I mean, we can do business that is profitable without destroying the world. We don't need to destroy it to be profitable. There is it doesn't have to happen that way. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a wonderful way to summarize it. So yeah, it's more than a business, right? I mean, all these talk about sustainability, governments talking about regulation. Ultimately, it comes down to people like you who on the ground serve customers and also save the planet. And that is why we named it Neartail, right? To support nearby retail so that people can buy from the local community. But at the end of the day, we are just two. You are the guys who are doing the God's work.
Well, not necessarily. I think it's a teamwork. In any business, it's a teamwork. In any project that you are, if it's something I have to learn, you know, it's teamwork, and we are all valued in each step of the world. I mean, if Vipin wasn't just, I don't know, he's a thought away. He's not 8 hours away. He's a thought away, you know?
Sure.
So I think, oh God, I have to fix this because otherwise not. And so I call him up or I send a message, Vipin, SOS, SOS. And he immediately, you know, he rings me back, what's happening? And then I say, this is happening. And then he just fixes it, you know?
Right.
And if we can connect in a more positive way, then solutions are, I mean, I don't see Tierra de Hortalizas becoming this huge enterprise. I'm not really interested in that either, you know, but I think it can be a one of what we have in the page we send out, in the form we send out with you. It says, dare to inspire others. And this is something that I came up with we have to dare to inspire others. I think as a designer, if you follow up with your projects and with your clients and you get involved with the product, and, you know, it's not only about the business, it's not only about the product, and you invite people to design with you and to solve with you, then things can be much more interesting and enjoyable as well, you know, much more enjoyable, really. Yeah.
This is a great start. Anyway, I think we will have ongoing basis. I'm hoping that you guys will grow really big, and every time you grow, we will come back and cover what you did great. I mean, what you did right, and got to the growth, and probably we'll keep.
Well, I hope so too. I just have to bring more people into a team. I'm going around and round and round. You know, say, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Who's gonna be the person?
Right.
I'm going to sort it out. I'll sort it out because I'm very endeared with the project. So I don't want to let it go.
Yeah.
But I thank you and all the team. I think you're fantastic people. Very happy to work with you.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Joyce's message today is to dare to inspire others. What inspires you to start your own venture? Write about it in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.